Welcome back to another episode of the F1 2020 My Team Series Lozzer Racing. It is the Monaco Grand Prix this time round, which is always a bit of the pinnacle of the calendar, isn't it? It's the most unique race on the calendar. Also the hardest one to drive in this game, and probably the hardest one to drive in real life. I mean, the cars are pretty much as wide as the track, so yeah, that's always fun to drive, isn't it? But yeah, it is Monaco this time round, and if you can't remember what happened last time I drove Monaco on YouTube, let's just say that I retired after a crash. Hoping not to repeat that this time, but of course this time we're doing more laps, because that time it was just a 25% race. Now we're doing a 50% race, and before this 50% race around the streets of Monaco, I am looking to make some upgrades to my car. They won't come for the Monaco Grand Prix, but we make one on the aerodynamics there, which is always nice. And then I have 575 R&D points left over, which I don't know at the time what to upgrade, but as you can see there, the chassis, we can't really upgrade the chassis anymore, so because of the facilities, the fact that the facilities are not upgraded, so the chassis facilities are definitely the ones I'm looking to upgrade next, because until I upgrade them, I can't make any more upgrades on the car chassis wise. So I go for this ERS related upgrade on the powertrain, because it's the only upgrade I can really make. There was durability upgrades I could make, but in the end, I decided to make the powertrain upgrade, because the durability upgrades, I mean, I've already got a couple of them anyway. They can come later on. But we have a quick look here at the standings on paper, and as you can see, we've dropped down to the third lowest car again. That is because Haas, who were below us initially, have now made massive upgrades. I mean, if you look at their line on the left-hand side, they have made huge upgrades towards, for the season so far, and they've even jumped AlphaTauri at this point. And now we head into the most crucial qualifying session of the year. Of course, track position is king around Monaco, so you want to try and qualify as high as you can to make sure that you are in the best position to start the racing. And going into our first flying lap, it's actually a fully clean lap. I haven't shown you the whole lap because I just don't want to do that, because yes, it's clean, but it's not necessarily a clean lap. Like, I didn't break any bit of my car, I didn't hit any walls or anything, but we come round for the first time, and we're actually in P6. We have to very, very quickly avoid Verstappen there as he's coming out of the pits just after we ended our lap. But it's P6 at the moment, which isn't too bad. And into the second lap here, we're already 3/10 up on our previous time. We come around the Lowe's hairpin. We have got, I think it's Gasly right behind us, also trying to set a lap. So we're really slowing him down here, I think. It's one of the AlphaTauris anyway. We'll see which one gets knocked out if either of them get knocked out in Q1. But we've gained a heap of time, another 3/10 through the hairpin section. And we're heading down towards the chicane now. We need to brake early enough to make sure that we get the corner done properly. It's sort of a skipping of the corner, not too badly, I guess. We still had two wheels on the actual track. We're now a second up on our previous time. We're in P20 at the moment, as only Latifi and my teammate Ilott are slower than me. But we come round Rascas now, the final two turns. We've taken that one quite well there. We come round the final corner. We get the car straightened up on the curb. What's the time going to be? Is it going to be good enough to get us out of Q1? It is P12. Lovely stuff there. The car felt pretty great around here in Q1. We've managed to get out of Q1 for the second race in a row. Now the question is, can we potentially get out of Q2 and into Q3? And Daniel Kvyat got knocked out for AlphaTauri, so I'm guessing it was him who we held up, because I don't think he would have got knocked out if we didn't hold him up. So also Esteban Ocon as well, both Giovinazzi and Grosjean getting through, so decent for those two. Oh, and Magnussen got through as well. Fair play then. So here we come then into Q2, trying to set our first time on the boards. I think we're one of the last cars to set a time. Oh no, we won't be. We were one of the first out on track. Why would we be one of the last cars to set a time? We've already run out of ERS there, as you can see. So, but around Monaco, I suppose that doesn't matter as much. Keeping it tight to the right-hand wall. Where's this first lap going to put us? P6. But at the moment, that's the slowest out of anyone. And again, we had to avoid Gasly coming out of the pits there, just like we did with Verstappen in Q1. And again, a bit of deja vu, I guess, as we come through the swimming pool chicane. We've actually set the fastest Sector 2 out of anyone in Q2, and we're a second up on our time. We come around the final corner now, get the DRS open. I forget to open the DRS, which is always good, but this lap actually puts us up to P3. on the track at the moment. Absolutely outstanding stuff. And we do a slow lap in and cross the line anyway, and we are in P10. We are into Q3. Absolute scenes. The first time a Lozzer racing car has made it into Q3. Both McLarens are out, both Hasses are out, along with Giovinazzi and Gasly. We've made it into Q3, ladies and gentlemen. What a turn up for the books that is. And heading out for our one and only lap in Q3, of course. We only have one set of tyres because we used up all of our tyres to get to Q3, so we're now using the soft tyres we would start the race in, and we come around the final corner now. It's a bit scruffy this time. We actually do use a DRS again, keeping tight to the right hand side. What's the time going to be? It's going to be a 1:11.6, which is 7/10 slower than Alex Albon in 6th, so we do remain in P10. But you know what, that's all good. I would rather be P10 than P11. Normally you'd rather be P11 because then you get the free tyre choice, but it's an extra position and we could go forward from here. It's very hard to go forward or backwards, to be honest with you, so quite a good session for us. First time in Q3, let's go get it in the race.
Nelson Piquet once said that driving the Circuit de Monaco was like riding a bicycle around your living room, and it's not hard to see what he means by that. There's no more prestigious a Grand Prix victory than Monaco, but also none so challenging. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend downwards towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners at Saint-Devote, and don't expect to see much overtaking here today. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of Turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Albon, Ricciardo, Perez, Stroll and Lawrence, Norris, Sainz, Romain Grosjean and Gasly, Giovinazzi, Ocon, Daniel Kvyat and Callum Island. Raikkonen, Russell, Latifi and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So that's all lovely then, we're in P10 and ready to go, and I was toying with the idea of what lap to pit on. I've decided on lap 7, which is very, very early and a long time before everyone else. Now you may think the overcut is very strong here, and it is, but at the same time, I have successfully managed to do an undercut from like 10th on the grid and finishing 2nd before, so don't count us out of this one as the 5 red lights come on. We are ready to be racing. Here on the streets, it's lights out and away we go here in Monaco. And we've got a very good start compared to Lance Stroll. We go down the outside of him. We go in between the 2 racing points here. Stroll's come on down our inside. He's forced us wide. And behind us, Perez has crashed. And the safety car is instantly deployed. Norris overtakes us. Very opportunistic there from Lando. But yeah, Stroll came down our inside and forced us to go wide, but there wasn't enough room for Perez to come through. And bang, just like that, he's in the wall and out of the race entirely. As we look at it from the onboard of Sergio Perez, he gets a decent start. He maybe thinks about challenging the Red Bull and the Renault ahead of him, but he gets caught up there, and then there I am down his inside, and it looks like I've just turned into him and left him with no room. But if you look closely, as we now go on board with Lance Stroll, he doesn't get a very good start, and then I come through, he sort of gets squeezed a bit, and then he turns left into the right-hander. He turns into me, which makes me turn left also, and into Perez. I have no idea what Stroll's thinking there, turning left, because that was just ridiculous. Okay, he was on top of the curb, but he didn't need to turn out of the turn to go into the turn. It just makes absolutely no sense. So if anything, that one is Stroll's fault. And also, loads of cars have damage, so at the end of this first lap under the safety car, I actually decided to come into the pits. I've got a damaged front wing myself. I didn't realise this at the time, but this actually really helped me because look behind me, Grosjean and Gasly are both coming in. They've both got 5-second penalties as well. But I've come into pit because why the hell not? And actually, yeah, so my front wing gets changed. I pit onto the hard tyres, and I'm thinking now, to the end of the race, why the hell not? Those hard I was planning on pitting on lap 7 to go onto these hard tyres, so they're only going to go, what, 5 extra laps, and a few of those laps, like 2 or 3 of those laps will be under the safety car, so I think that these tyres can get to the end, and of course we're going to catch back up to everyone as well, which means that loads of other cars will still have to pit in this race, and we'll be ahead of them. We will get track position through doing the undercut, like I said at the start of the race, but just in a completely different, accidental kind of way. As now we get ready for the restart from the safety car, we do get oversteer, unfortunately, though, after the final corner, so it's not a case of catching up to Ocon, it's a case of keeping Grosjean behind us as he tries to go alongside us into Saint-Devote, but we managed to stick it out and stay ahead of him. And now it's about catching back up to the guys ahead. Ocon on mediums and Magnussen on hards. I think Magnussen started on hards and Grosjean behind me pit onto soft tyres, which I really don't get. Why would you pit onto a set of softs? Just pit onto a set of mediums. At least then maybe you could go further in the race than you might think and pit onto softs instead of like another set of mediums or something, unless Haas know their tyre wear is bad and Grosjean's now going to do a 3-stop instead. I don't know. And now, as you can see, we're going down the inside of Esteban Ocon at the hairpin. This is lap 11, so we've gone for quite a few laps there. That is a bit of a botched edit, I will admit, because I did kind of flash back right into the corner where I was already attempting to overtake him, so that might have looked a bit botched, so I apologise for that. I had a lot of flashback moments in this race, as you can imagine, because, I mean, it is Monaco after all, so yeah, it's not fun. I'm never ever going to get through this track ever without doing a single flashback. You guys probably knew I would do flashbacks anyway, so I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I had to show the overtake, didn't I? So I had to explain why the editing's a bit botched. But as you see now, as we come down the main straight for lap 12, my plan is working. That's Verstappen just coming out of the pits. Max Verstappen, who started in 5th place, is now behind me and behind Esteban Ocon as well. We've got Sebastian Vettel who's come out ahead, and Hamilton and Bottas have both come out ahead also. I don't know where Leclerc is, I don't know if he's come in yet or not. Or one of the Mercedes has come out in front of us. I'm pretty sure it's Bottas, as he did have the lead. And we actually try down the inside of the hairpin on Sebastian Vettel, and we actually get it done. We get it done, we get ahead of him. Ocon also gets ahead of him. But the thing is now as well, we haven't got to worry about the position, we've got to worry about our tyres. We're only 11 laps into this tyre stint out of 38 laps. 2 of them were behind the safety cars. Ocon has a look into the chicane, but he can't get past there. We're already on 22% tyre wear on our front left, so not only have we got to worry about position, we've got to worry about the tyres. We've got to nurse the tyres, which is something that I'm not very good at. So this race is suddenly taken a whole new level of meaning, almost. Like, not only have we got to try and get into the best position on the track, we've also got to try and hold it whilst also trying to keep our tyres in the window, making sure we don't get a puncture. As we actually come past Albon into Saint-Devote, we've actually passed him. We've passed both Red Bulls. Leclerc's out ahead of us, so only Hamilton, Bottas and Leclerc of the cars ahead that were ahead of us on the starting grid, only those 3 are ahead of us. We were in P10. Perez is out of the race. Stroll was behind us anyway, and yeah, so only Hamilton, Bottas and Leclerc are out ahead of us. So at the moment we are in a net P4. We're a P12 on the road at the moment, but we're in a net P4 now. But we're now on to lap 14 and Albon is all over the back of us here. We've got poor traction out of Saint-Devote and Albon looks to go alongside with us here, and he is doing that up the hill, and it looks like a bit of front wings flown off his car there, as he might have brushed the wall on the inside, and in the end I stay ahead and in P12. looking to try and catch up to Leclerc. This is not what I need. And if you can see Albon's front wing in my mirrors there, he has damaged one side of his front wing, so he's going to probably pit again. And, well, we've ruined his race. How many more races are we going to ruin through the course of this Sunday? I don't know. Let's find out, because let's face it, around Monaco, defending from other drivers is hard, especially when you're going side by side up that damn hill. And on that replay there, as you can see, that is Charles Leclerc ahead of me, overtaking Kevin Magnussen. He'd been stuck behind Magnussen ever since he come out of the pits, and now he's got ahead. So unfortunately, it looks like we're not catching Leclerc today. We could catch Magnussen though, and as you can see, people are now starting to pit, and that's bringing our position in the race up. We're now in P5, and only Magnussen ahead of us is a car that needs to pit. But right now, we've got bigger problems than that, as Max Verstappen is looking to maybe go side by side up the hill as well. The other Red Bull is now pestering me and trying to get past me, but we hold station. We've managed to hold it together and keep ahead of Max Verstappen for the time being, at least. And ever so slowly, the laps are getting less and less. We have, 17 laps left to go. We've got a yellow flag behind us though, so something's gone on behind us, and it looks like someone's slowing down, and it is Romain Grosjean who's slowing down and heading out of the race. What a shame for the other Haas car in this race. Magnussen was running as high as 4th, and now, unfortunately, at the other end of the garage, Romain Grosjean has retired out of the race. And again, we're just chipping away at the laps as Max Verstappen continues to hustle and harry us even more so. The guys ahead, we're losing touch with them, it doesn't matter about that. But we get a bit of a poor exit out of there, either that or Verstappen gets a really good one, because this is his best chance to overtake us so far. He looks to try and go down the inside at the chicane, but he can't do it, he can't make the move stick, and he remains behind us for the time being still. I can't really say any more than that. It's just for the time being, because I don't know if he's going to get ahead of us or not. It feels like it's a matter of time. But he's still trying here, and he gives us a little bit of a love tap around that Raskas. He's so impatient, this guy. Just let me try and at least, try and stay ahead, man. Why so impatient? Allow it. But as we now move on into lap 26, you can see the tyre wear, especially the front left, is now at 50%. And you've got to think, we've got to take these tyres another 13 laps yet. And the fact that we've used 50% of our tyre in 25 laps, we're using 2% a lap there. So if we've got another 13 laps to go, it means we're going to use at least another 26% of that front left tyre, which is going to be very, very touch and go with puncture territory, because puncture territory is around 70 to 80% where you could potentially get a puncture. That is not what we want. We need these tyres to last for the rest of this race, really. So that means that now we gotta start really properly saving tyres. So we've got to be even more defensive than we were before. But as you can see, we've started creating a bit of a train behind us, and this man, my teammate, is catching up to the end of this train. Now we're in P4, and I don't know if you noticed behind, but there was 1, 2, 3, 4, there was 5 dots behind us, and then Callum Ilott catching up to us, which means that now Callum Ilott is in P10. At the moment, both cars are in the points. Callum Ilott is in P10, and this time he's in a legit P10. No needing to pit this time, like in the last race. No, he is running in a net P10, like P10 properly. I can't believe it. I don't know where he's come from. And coming out of the tunnel now, Verstappen's looking to have another go on us here as he tries to go down our inside at the chicane once again, but fails dramatically, and that's actually allowed Lando Norris to get past him. Norris has ended up getting past Verstappen and up into 5th place, and at this point we're, in a way, it's almost like we're the leader of this train, but the thing is the 3 ahead of us are now catching up to the back of this train to lap this train. It's absolutely ridiculous how this race is unfolding at the moment. And Luke, this is the next lap. That is Valtteri Bottas, I think, lapping Sebastian Vettel, which I don't know how Vettel's got caught up in this train, and he has, and he's now catching up to the Williams there, which he does lap in the end. Yeah, like I say, they're now in this train. And to be honest with you, having not thought about it at the time, maybe letting him lap everyone, and including myself, would be massively beneficial for me. Because now look at my front left tyre, it's on 66%. We can see the blue flags as Norris has actually pit there. I'm guessing he must have damaged his front wing or something. He damaged something. Or maybe it's just a scheduled pit stop. I don't know. But yeah, maybe letting Bottas actually sort of lap everyone. We've actually got damage to our front wing as well now as well. But we've now got 5 laps to try and nurse these tyres home the best we can. We're driving so slowly to try and do this, but you know, letting Bottas lap us would mean 1 less lap to try and get these tyres home, and we'd still finish in 4th place because we're not catching up to the front 3 anymore. Leclerc's 40 seconds ahead of us, and the thing is, 40 seconds ahead of us is nearly catching up to this train. As Verstappen now is getting impatient once again behind us, of course, with Norris pitting. Verstappen is now the car behind us once again, and into Raskas, he just bumps into the back of us. Now, I do admit, I did brake earlier, but that's because I'm trying to nurse the tyres. I was trying to do a bit more coasting rather than hard braking, and Verstappen has obviously not noticed this, and just missed his braking point slightly, not realised I've braked earlier, and just gone straight up the back of me. But now, as you can see, lap 35, and this is what I was talking about, we're now getting blue flags for Bottas, and around Monaco there's not a lot of places to let a car past, so we sort of go wide in Raskas to let him through there. I thought he'd bumped us up the back just like Verstappen did. I did not want that to happen at this point. I wanted him to get past me and sort of use him to try and get a bit of a tow, or well, not necessarily a tow because there's no tow around Monaco, but just sort of drag me along a bit to get me out of the clutches of Daniel Ricciardo, who once again, for the 3rd race in a row, we meet on the racetrack. Like, China, it was him overtaking me. In the Netherlands, it was me overtaking him because he was slow, and now we're just trying to keep him behind again. And as you can see, we're now on lap 38 of 39. This is our final lap, as Bottas has lapped us. So this is our final lap. We've just got to keep it clean through the swimming pool chicane. We've done that nicely. Now it's time for Raskas. Can we keep it clean through Raskas? Can we keep Ricciardo behind? Oh, it was a bit dodgy there. We are very, very slow. The tyre is on 75% the front left, but we are going to come through for our best finish of the season so far in P4. The strategy worked a treat. It got us from P10 to P4. It's exactly what we wanted. The pitting on lap 1 worked, and it's gone and got us 12 points. Get in there!
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there we go then. How about that? P4, 12 points. Callum Ilott finishing in P8, of course, with Norris and Verstappen having to pit. Callum Ilott was elevated up 2 more positions to P8. So we get 16 points for the team. What an achievement that is. Only the top 3 finished on the lead lap, of course. And yeah, what a race. What a race. Of course, Norris and Verstappen were the final 2 classified finishers. Sergio Perez, of course, retired at the start with a first lap crash involving me and his teammate, and Romain Grosjean retired with a mechanical failure of some sort. Lance Stroll actually never recovered. Lance Stroll actually finished like near the bottom. In the driver's standings, we move all the way up to P7. We have 22 points. We have more points than a Ferrari. In this game, that means a lot, because Ferrari are technically kind of still the 3rd/4th best team. Well, on paper they're the 4th best team, but they're technically the 3rd best team. Callum Ilott also gets points, 4 points he moves up in the standings as well. In terms of constructors, we are up into P4. We are the best of the rest, but look at how close it is. 26 for Lozzer Racing, 25 for AlphaTauri, 25 for Renault, 25 for Racing Point, 24 for McLaren. What constructors standings they are. Absolutely brilliant. And that is going to be it for this episode of the F1 2020 My Team series. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you like what you see and you want to see more. And if you don't want to miss a video, hit that little bell next to the subscribe button, and you'll get a notification every time that I upload. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next episode in Baku.